Welcome back to our weekly newsletter on the economy, where we bring you the latest updates on business and economic trends. Today, I will take you on a journey through this week's newsletter. To receive our weekly newsletter and stay informed on the latest economic developments, simply follow our website in the description below. First up, China has made a significant move in opening up its economy. The country has removed all foreign investment restrictions in the manufacturing sector, now only listing 29 prohibited items on a new national negative list. Next, let's talk about the future of growth in the Asia-Pacific region. This highly industrialized area is increasingly focusing on shifting from traditional manufacturing to high productivity services like finance and IT. For this transition to succeed, policymakers are being urged to reduce service sector trade barriers and improve workforce skills to keep up with the digital economy. Turning to Europe, the EU's tax-to-GDP ratio has decreased slightly, dropping from 40.7% in 2022 to 40% in 2023, and countries like France, Belgium, and Denmark continue to have the highest tax-to-GDP ratios, while Ireland, Romania, and Malta have the lowest. In Turkey, inflation remains high. The CPI for October has risen by 48.58% year-on-year, highlighting ongoing price pressures, and particularly in the food and energy sectors. South Korea's export growth has slowed down for the third consecutive month, primarily due to weaker demand for semiconductors. Exports are expected to rise by 6.9% year-on-year, the slowest pace since June. On the investment front, Thailand is making strides with a major $2 billion investment in the data centers in electronics manufacturing. This includes a $968 million investment by Alphabet Incorporation to establish a hyperscale data center, signaling strong confidence in the country's growing tech sector. Italy's industrial sector is facing challenges, with the turnover in August falling by 0.5%. Services also saw a 2% decline, with wholesale trade dropping by 2.6% year-on-year. And Germany's inflation rate is projected to reach 2% in October, with core inflation at 2.9%. The FAO Food Price Index has surged by 3% in September, driven by significant increases in sugar and vegetable oil prices. In the euro area, bank interest rates for corporations and households have decreased in September, reflecting lower borrowing costs. This is a positive sign for businesses and consumers looking for more affordable loans and financing. New research from the European Trade Union Institute reveals that low-paid workers in the EU are spending over 35% of their wages on rent, with some countries seeing costs rise by up to 200%. And this issue is prompting calls for the new EU Housing Commissioner to tackle rising housing costs and ensure affordable housing for all. In Georgia, the Consumer Price Index saw a 0.3% increase in October, with a key rise in clothing prices by 6.7%. And going to Estonia, the country's industrial production fell by 1.5% in September. This was primarily driven by a 2.1% drop in manufacturing. However, there were some positive areas, with mining up by 10.4% and electricity production rising by 0.9%. On a global scale, the manufacturing PMI showed signs of stabilization. rising slightly to 49.4 in October, while there was moderate growth in production in China and India. Manufacturing continued to decline in the Eurozone and the US. Global trade remains sluggish with new export orders falling for the fifth month in a row. However, optimism improved slightly, especially in China, as input price inflation stabilized. A crucial topic for businesses today is protecting cash flow, especially from late payers. So consider strategies like invoice factoring, where unpaid invoices are sold to a third party, or invoice financing to borrow against outstanding invoices. Additionally, a letter of credit and trade credit insurance can provide payment guarantees. Advanced payments, along with in-house credit control, also help mitigate risks and maintain liquidity in uncertain markets. And in the Czech Republic, the unemployment rate held steady at 2.9% in September, with economic activity reaching 77.1%. And looking at Serbia, external trade showed mixed results. Exports rose by 1.7%, while imports increased by 5.6%, and this led to a 20.4% rise in the trade deficit, with the export-import ratio standing at 76.1%. The European e-commerce report for 2024 shows positive growth, with B2C turnover increasing by 3% and reaching over 800 billion euros. And Southern Europe saw a notable 14% growth, while Ukraine's market surged by 145%. However, inflation and global competition remain challenges, while technological advancements and sustainability trends offer opportunities for growth. The e-commerce sector is set to continue its upward trajectory with an 8% growth forecast for this year. In Spain, unemployment rose in October, though the increase was the smallest for the month since 2006, excluding the pandemic years. The jobless total stands at 2.60 million and the lowest for October since 2007. And unemployment has decreased by 5.7% compared to the previous year. For Turkey, internet advertising revenues are forecasted to grow from $5.5 billion in 2023 to $2.5 billion by 2028, driven by a 9.8% annual growth rate. And paid research ads lead as the fastest growing segment, followed by video and display ads. Globally, internet advertising is set to become the dominant sector, comprising 77.1% of the total ad spending by 2028. And lastly, in Euro area, inflation in October rose to 2% and up from 1.7% in September. The highest annual inflation rate was seen in services like food, alcohol, and tobacco, and these figures show inflationary pressures persist, particularly in services and the food sector. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.